Let's say first alert weather day today. We started at noon and it's lasting until noon tomorrow for that heavy snow that is moving through the area. We can see some snowfall rates up to 1 or 2 inches per hour, especially with that heavier band of snow that is moving from north to south, just coming out of Iowa as of 5:30 this afternoon. It's going to be a pretty heavy and wet type snow because those temperatures are going to be right around freezing, and with strong southeast winds, that means that we are also going to see some issues probably with maybe some power outages or some tree limbs that are going to come down because that snow is going to stick to pretty much whatever it can find, and those strong winds are going to put some more strain on those power cables and also on the trees. As we go into the overnight tonight though, with more warm air moving in, we're going to see that snow eventually transition into a little bit more of that rain. As we look at the satellite and radar picture across the upper Midwest, look how broad that sheet of snow is, pretty much from Michigan all the way into part of Montana and Wyoming. And there's that very heavy snow band that is coming out of Iowa, and that's going to bring in the bulk of our snowfall for the rest of today. And it's going to move northward across the area here over the next few hours, and already towards the south of that we can see some of that rain that's with that warmer air that's going to move into the area here later, especially during the overnight tonight. Here's a look at the winter weather alerts that are in effect across the area. Winter storm warnings for many of us and some winter weather advisories around the Coulee region as well. Those expire around 10 p.m. tonight, and those winter storm warnings for Eau Claire and areas towards the south, they expire around 1 a.m. so also pretty quickly into the overnight hours. But for you folks up north, you're going to stick with this a little bit longer with that the winter storm warning lasting until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So let's time things out a little bit as we go into the evening hours. Still looking at plenty of snowfall by around 7 p.m. and that heavier snow band is also going to move into the area by then, hence those darker blue colors all across the area. As we go through later tonight, we start to see some drier air moving in from the east, so some of our southeast areas are starting to look dry as we go through the overnight. And farther towards the south and west, we see that rain starting to creep in with those warmer temperatures, and eventually that rain snow line is going to move farther towards the north. Now, models are still a little bit iffy about where that line is going to set up exactly, or how fast it's going to move towards the north. Now this model is a little bit quicker again, already bringing that rain into Eau Claire by around 2 a.m. But that is still a big question mark because it's also going to hover around the area a little bit through the overnight hours tonight. And again, the drier air is also going to move in, especially into our eastern areas. So the farther east you live, the better a chance you have of seeing some more dry periods already through the overnight tonight. As we go to tomorrow morning for your drive into work, the snow is going to move farther towards the north, but we're still dealing with some precipitation, mostly in the form of some pretty steady rain. And as we go through the day tomorrow, we can still see a few rain showers, maybe even a few claps of thunder here and there. And with that rain on top of that snow that is falling today, do anticipate of seeing maybe some ponding or even some flooding on the roadways as well, especially since the rain is going to continue for much of the day on Monday as well. We'll see some dry periods, but also some periods of maybe some moderate or even heavy rain, and again, the potential for some thunderstorms as well. But as we go through today and tonight, here's a look at some impacts that we are expecting from this snow. The impact from the snowfall itself is going to be the greatest, especially into this evening and tonight with a heavier snowfall, and as soon as it starts to stick to the roads, then we're going to see some real issues with that. As we transition to the rain during the overnight tonight, that should be a pretty quick and smooth transition, so the potential for sleet, ice, freezing rain, anything like that is pretty small at this point. And those winds, they're going to be pretty strong, so also that is something to consider from the south and east, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's a look at the overall snowfall amounts we are expecting, and I do want to stress that by the time you're watching this, most likely the areas towards the south have already received most of the snow that we are highlighting here. The farther north you go, the more snow you can still expect for the rest of this evening and into the overnight hours, and certainly more snow the farther north and west you go, because that is where the transition to snow during the overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning will come later, so you seeing more of that snow for a longer amount of time as well. Through the overnight tonight, again, the temperature is going to continue to increase, so eventually that snow will transition to rain. And as we go into tomorrow, we're still looking at a pretty good deal of precipitation, mostly in the form of rain. As we go into Tuesday, still the chance of a few showers around, but temperatures are going to drop throughout the day on Tuesday. That means that we're looking at the chance for maybe some snow showers mixing in again as well. Towards the middle part of the week, we finally start to dry out, and maybe another storm system is starting to appear as we go towards next weekend. But again, we have the first alert day in effect for us here today, so make sure to check back in with us tonight here at 10.